So why does the left keep winning so much? That's a good question, and I think I'm beginning to understand a little bit why. When you look at because I just returned from the march from the protests in Newcastle, where there were two groups. There was the EDL and there was the Antifa Unite counter-protest. So you had the EDL there protesting against basically Asian Middle Eastern grooming gang. Asian is in the UK. Asian is the word for Middle Eastern, and you had a left organization there as well, protesting against EDL and against the rapes. Not against them being a Muslim, but against them. They call them misogynists. So they are protesting against the rapes as well. So why does the left keep winning so much? Well, I started to see a few things here, I think, when it comes to the optics and the public perception of the left wing versus the right wing, especially at these kind of marches. Optics is extremely important. Now look at the EDL march. Let's look at what they had. Well, they had these people at a pub, drinking beer, smoking. Some of them were shouting. Some of them, had hoods on. They're playing loud rock music. Not the kind of family-friendly, nice optics that you want. Not the kind of thing that would attract, your everyday neighbor, your everyday family, that would attract. It's not the thing that would attract them to rally. It seems militant, it seems aggressive, it seems intimidating. So the only kind of people that turned up for that protest were the kind of hardline, well, the kind of core EDL supporters. You didn't get any, normal people. Don't get me wrong, normal, but you didn't get the kind of normal family, your everyday kind of normie people. You didn't get them turn up. Compare, for example, with when Tommy Robinson had his march in Manchester, which was not EDL, but it was Tommy Robinson, just his own thing. A lot of more, your kind of family, normal, everyday people turned up to protest against terrorism there, because it is a valid point to protest against. But when you turn up with the wrong optics and the wrong behavior and the wrong kind of the kind of behavior that turns people off, it will turn people off from supporting the right-wing causes. Meanwhile, on the other hand, we had the leftists today in Newcastle. Their optics was a lot better. They kind of claimed the moral high ground, if you understand what I mean. They had a family-friendly, kind of all nice, loving optics, if you understand what I mean. The only bad optics for them really were the kind of SJW freaks with blue or orange hair, piercings and things like that, which there were quite a few of. But they have managed to change what's publicly acceptable through pushing the Overton window so much that people don't really care too much about how those people look anymore. So they can dress like that and get away with it. But they were all shouting love, peace, anti-racism, anti-homophobia, you get the message. They're against misogyny. They always try and claim the moral high ground, and there were no violence that I could see from the left-wing protests this time, and none of them were masked either. Of course, you get some of the Antifa that are masked and violent, but they're probably, at least in the UK, they are a minority. The majority of the kind of Antifa, leftist, socialist protesters in the UK they're not masked, but they do sympathize with communism, and they have communist flags and so on. That's the thing. And also, and you look at the turnout. You look at the turnout of the left-wing march in Newcastle. Maybe I would estimate maybe 300 people, whereas the EDL march only had about 50 people turn out. And as they were walking, marching, as the left-wing protest were walking past the streets of Newcastle, you had the locals they are standing beside, cheering them on. Something I didn't see from for the EDL side. And you know, you had the local people joining in and cheering on. You know, you had older people, you had younger people. They kind of attracted the normies, the kind of people, your normal everyday guy, because they didn't seem very intimidating. They seemed friendly. They seemed, you know, peace, love, you know, all this hippie stuff, you know. And they were protesting against the rapes as well, but they said it was misogynists and not. They didn't say it was. It didn't have anything to do with race or religion or to do with. They claimed. They said it had to do with them being misogynist, but it is well known the fact that there is a problem with Asian. Asian is a word for Middle Eastern in the UK. Grooming gangs who target specifically white girls, and that is a problem in the UK. But they try and erase that and claim it's just misogynist, which is not. But well, I mean, well, they might be misogynist if you want to use that term, but it's not that they are white men targeting young girls. That's not the case. But that's the thing. They, with their message, you know, they attract the normies by being kind of taking the moral high ground, the nice optics. So much so that there was actually 2 MPs joining in on the left-wing march, and this is quite unbelievable. You know, you had 2 MPs who are actually in Parliament in the UK, Labour MPs, marching together with left-wing protesters who have with communists. You had a Socialist Workers' Party, a Communist Party there. You know, with all the with your classical communist symbols, a star and, you know, red and everything. And these Labour MPs are openly marching with communists, even though communists have killed over 100 million people in history, way more than the Nazis ever did. So, and they can openly get away with marching. You know, imagine if you had MPs marching with some neo-Nazi skinheads, that you know, shouting. That I don't think they would get away with that very easily. You know, but that's how they have managed to change public perception. They try and look nice. They have good optics, even though they have very bad ideology. And I spoke to some of these people, you know, a lot of these people, you know, they seem nice, and you know, they seem nice enough. They are. I mean, I think a lot of these people think that they are doing good, because a lot of these people seem like nice people, but they have the wrong ideology. They get made into believing that communism is the way to change things, when communism is actually the system that we have now. We actually have communism through the back door, and then they get made to believe that communism is the way to make things improve, when it is clearly not. When communism is an evil ideology, but they wrap it up with really nice optics, whereas these EDL types, they have terrible optics, if you ask me. So what should the right do? Optics is super important. Being nice, family friendly, you know, something that your grandma could join. Not something militant, aggressive that will scare you normal people away, because that won't gain any support at all. So people need to have something family friendly, something nice, still with a message on point, with important message that you know, pushing wholesome traditional messages, but with nice optics, because that's not what the right is about. It's not about being scary, scaring away people or hating on people at all, because it's not. The right wing is love, naturalism is love, traditionalism is love. It's not hate, which the left has been trying to claim. But then you have these a few of these people who are, well, basically giving into that narrative and operating as if they are hateful, whereas the right really is not about that at all. And I mean, they might not be hateful themselves, but they have been playing into this narrative. So if you look at, for example, like Generation Identitaire in Germany and France and Austria, look at what they've been doing with their optics. You know, that's perfect. They are family friendly, they are nice, they're not scary, they have their message on point, a good message about what we need to do to save Western civilization, but they have good optics, you know, they don't have any scary symbols or any people in hoods or any skinheads or anything like that. They don't have anything like that at all. No, they have nice, family-friendly protests. You know, nice people, nice-looking people, nice messages. They're not scaring people away. They are instead actually attracting people. They are loving. They are helpful. They are helping. They are helping the homeless in France, for example. And so on, and that is exactly what the right needs to be doing to attract the kind of normies, the people, you know, your everyday family, your everyday people who are not really into politics. That's what you have to do to attract them. Optics, and it's so important, and I think this is quite a good message for a lot of people to understand. You know, we have I don't agree with that ideology at all, but people who bring kind of Nazi symbols or something like that is just plain stupid to do. I mean, first of all, we don't agree with that ideology. Second of all, it's absolutely plain stupid to do it, because what are you trying to do? Are you trying to save Hitler's reputation? I mean, good night. That's never gonna happen. You're never gonna be able to do it. It's just stupid to try and do something like that. I mean, yeah. I mean, what do you think, guys? Well, thanks for watching. Please share this video, like, subscribe, and I'll see you all guys later.